So we'd like to spend some time talking with you about Care for Creation. I'm Janice Holly. I'm a pastor here in the St. Louis area, and I've been working with Care for Creation coaching for, believe it or not, the last 5 years. This is pre-pandemic, but we are certainly getting into more requests for coaching over the last year, and I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited to say hello to Phoebe Morand, who is Director for Lutherans Restoring Creation. Phoebe, what is it that excites you most about having Care for Creation coaches coming alongside the work you do?
I was really thrilled over 5 years ago when I first met you that the idea of coaching could be layered onto all of these wonderful resources that our church since 1993 of having theologians and wonderful people create this theology of why creation care is part of our vocation. But there's a great amount of content, but if you don't have people to help you through it and accompany you, you could get really lost and mired in the sense of urgency and despair that sometimes goes along with this movement. So being able to know that there are people out there ready, not just to help you navigate some of the content, but to help you navigate people and navigate especially teams of people that you might want to work with to help you think about, for one thing, what your goal is, because a lot of us get into this ministry thinking it's our job to save the planet. That might be a little big to handle, and to have coaches be able to help you navigate what exactly your goals are and what your next most faithful step is really exactly what we needed in this ministry.
And, it seems like before the pandemic, we felt that sense of urgency, but I know there was a lot of hope built because we saw the earth healing itself in different ways through the pandemic time. And since then, we also have seen these really crazy weather patterns, and we're reminded on a much more often basis that we need to work together to still be great stewards for Mother Earth and really work in tandem to reach these goals that are set, reducing carbon footprints, trying to recycle, trying to create more green space or more nurturing kinds of places in desperate situations. But I just really know that as we talk through this, groups across the ELCA, individuals, maybe new Care for Creation teams like we have here at the church I serve, and also just in synods around our wonderful church, are beginning to figure out we've got to work together in new and different ways. And so I think we've seen kind of this idea of how do we get started? How do I move myself faster than me myself just trying to figure this out? Plus, as you mentioned, trying to mobilize teams and maybe work and create affiliations with other faith groups or other churches. I mean, I know some rural churches who try to work together on these issues. And at the synod level, there are many more Care for Creation, or sometimes they're called green tables, or, various names. But they're trying to also think about ways to incent congregations to move into this work, because it is important in our theology. It's also realizing that it calls to people, and people want to get involved in this work.
My question to you, I'm excited that you're getting requests. I mean, as Lutherans Restoring Creation, people will come to us because they've found us. But now that there are people that realize, oh, gee, as a congregation, we really need to do this, not only to save money and to do better for our community, but also for the long-term next generations. How do you find people are asking or requesting specifically for help from a coach compared to just looking on our website or using a carbon calculator? What is it about a coaching experience, and specifically the creation care specialty coaches that you work with? What can they offer, and why would people want to work with them?
Part of coaching is asking those power questions. And when we've got a background in the content area, not that we're experts, but content, that helps inform our questions to get after the things that people want to accomplish. And, many of the requests come in we've been talking about all these things and the content, and this is important and that's important. And they find themselves splintered and maybe not getting that forward momentum as much, or they're working with a synod where the bishop is really requesting that they move forward, or they get the use of the grant money. And so there's kind of like, how can we get this targeted and done? And how do we move it forward more quickly? And so that's what I've seen. Coaches can help optimize either the individual or the congregational team or the synod group to really be very clear about what their outcomes are. And if that's what you're reaching for, then let's get very planful about how you want to do that. So it's in some of that discussion and facilitation by just asking critical questions that help people keep a focus on where they want to go and not get mired down sometimes in the content, because it's process oriented. I'm excited to say that we again have another group of coaches coming through. And so if anybody's interested in becoming a level 2, a specialty coach with the ELCA, that can be found on the ELCA coaching website, a way to apply and find out the dates for the training, and it's all out there.
And I'm really excited to be able to offer this cohort of many coaches across the country, and that they can connect with people virtually is another beautiful thing. If you can connect regionally, I've found that that's great because they know their landscape, they know their demography, but at the same time, just being able to know that you can connect with people regardless of how many miles are in between has been wonderful. And I know that people really appreciate the fact that they don't have to do this walk alone, and that it is a ministry. And we have these connection calls as Lutherans Restoring Creation. We have a place to gather every month as a group and hear from experts, but there's nothing like having someone that's going to call you every week or month and be with you to know that you're making those next steps, and to treat this like the ministry it is, because there are lots of different trainings and, things out there that you can do for skill sets, but having a coach, I think, really can make all the difference between, especially making this feel like a ministry instead of just a set of boxes to check. So thank you, Janice, for all your work.
And it creates hope. As we work on these very large issues, it creates hope in that forward movement, because we get to see God within us and around us and in nature. So thanks for your time, Phoebe. Have a great day. And thanks to all of you who have watched the video all the way through. God bless you.